The program na Good Morning Salon, where they come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM.
And the program they continue as we state inside one of the headline today. We will look inside national election, watch new them position on the midterm housing and population provisional census results, where statistics alone officially punlado this BNTM. Well, as people need for no new a coalition of over 300 national and international civil society community-based and non-governmental organization where they be set up inside 2002, and the main purpose now for observe all electioneering process and also give civic education to the public. And the issue of the census process will be start new be day before param outside the raise concern them, but this all result on the lab system will be the process. And one key thing will then be highlight at that particular time now the issue of the timeliness of the whole census process, where according to them the timing was not a good one, or probably not to be a right timing than the for less statistics alone do the census process. Well, now statistics alone officially don't do this whole process, and the result of the country and population don't come out and do officially. Waiting a new them position as other people in other organizations they also get concerned. We will kind of waiting at their own position as statistics alone be don't pull this country population na do this BNTM. And for can talk on the position and other concern on the whole census process. Once again I welcome Marcella Samba Sesay, when I the chairperson for new. So officially we see statistics salon, when the rightful body on the whole census process don't give out the country official population results. Also dengue where this result they show the different people in a different side in the country. Look at new knowing that statistics salon come out with these results. How on be first react to the news for say officially, despite all the concern them will not be highlight on this whole process, also want to identify different lapses. At the end of the day, statistics alone come out with the official results. Now, the way these results don't get so many, don't be topic of discussion. I mean, na the country, na different platform and among different people.
We're not being surprised at all. The outcome of the census not surprised me at all, because as we press statements where National Elections Watch officially released yesterday, the 2nd of June. The third bulletin of the press statement say, unsurprisingly, the provisional results published by Statistics Sierra Leone falls within the concerns raised by NU from the beginning of this process. You see, one thing, and I feel very sorry for Sierra Leone, that we're not able for land. Opportunities that were presented to we're not able for use and for the betterment of the country. If then technical concerns, then the issues around good governance, we border around citizens' participation. We talk about timeliness of the process. We call the attention. We talk about transparency of the process. From where the proclamation make, we talk say how una they communicate this process to the citizens, and we ask say una make sure say the formation of structures them including the Statistics Council be one way responsive to the demography of this country and how this country look like, and make sure say this process here so is good enough where anybody go validate and say he passed the critical benchmarks. So the argument is, if the process hamburg, the outcome go hamburg. The process is good as the outcome. So it was not a surprise to us. We tried as best as possible. Every Sierra Leonean knows say National Election Watch profile suggestions, but I mean nobody no listen to.
So why you not surprised with the outcome when at the final result where statistics alone don't put together and pull officially?
So I tell you, say the process is as good as the outcome. You see, governance processes, the one first challenge was a crisis of time. Governance processes get a cycle. Each regime where they come, in some countries, na 7 years. In Sierra Leone, na 5 years. The country gets written and called a National Development Plan. when the government take power, it's either it is situating itself within the broader dimension. For countries that will get long-term development plans, some they make 25 years, some they make 50 years, or some they make shorter development plan. So using the party we win in manifesto and make that plan. So within that 5-year period, the government they articulate waiting in one for do for a country. And when you look at the medium-term national development plan, where the government puts before we say, now this, now one for do for salon, nothing other than midterm census. When you look at the new direction manifesto, where you go say, now that one day, now have been the springboard we bring the current government to power, because now based on anything they didn't campaign on, nothing other than but a midterm census. In fact, when you look at the strategy documents of Statistics Sierra Leone, it's said to be the Statistics Sierra Leone don't suffer from institutional capacity, and then go try as best as possible for reform the institution and build the capacity of individuals. We not forget fumble and say Statistics Sierra Leone post 2018, they remove a number of people from that particular institution. And so when we first and foremost look at the circumstances around the national plan, the time where other governance activities therefore be conducted, especially in the run-up to the 2022 and 2023 election. Remember, say, the law not been passed, say, the local council election, they move on to the 2023. By law, it was stipulated for 2022. We look at all that in the height of COVID-19. Who thinks about conducting a census? In the height of a COVID-19, we wonder, say, how can governments prioritize counting people? It is important. Let people not get national elections which come. Knowing data for development is fundamentally useful, but then it has to be well managed. Okay. So we said you will run into a crisis of time. The first date we then give in at December, we said it's not feasible. And then there was this over celebration of digitalization, that we go use technology for run the census. It is not possible to use technology if the people where you are using for, carry them along for understand the purpose of the census. So there were a number of issues, and we go to Statistics Sierra Leone. We had a meeting with them.
Because at that, I just want to ask, say, then concern their way on don't the raise from the time we announced about census from April to then postpone to December. What's the reaction of statistics during the time when I engaged them?
So we had close to 15 or 16 representatives from senior heads of organization, because the national elections watching a coalition of organizations. Heads of organizations and members of the secretariat will make a move to Statistics Sierra Leone. And honestly, it was a welcoming move. They received well, we see them. We had a very frank discussion. We put a number of issues on the table, and Statistics Sierra Leone we say, we not be no saying that the issues there we not carry it. But that's the fact that we don't package the issues there, so we don't put them before we could think about them and come back to now. And then see how they talk, so now we can go to them and say, not consider this, because national elections watch don't they now this governance space from 2002. And in 2012, post-2012 election, now take a decision, say, National Elections Watch calls on the government to revisit or completely declare the provisional results of the midterm census null and void, and not use the data for political and development purposes. New also welcomes the opportunity to discuss the way forward. You know why we make this conclusion? And this is why I am here this morning. I want to talk to the hearts and minds of Sierra Leoneans. Whether they are in leadership, whether you're in opposition, whether you're ordinary citizens, this data no they benefit anybody.
So why you say so? We according to you, your view, this whole process or this final result of the country population, now for a developmental purpose.
So if if you allow me for explain exactly how we build up to this particular conclusion, it will make a lot of sense. So in reality, we say this particular data no dey serve any developmental purpose because not to a true reflection of the population within a salon. And as I been dey say before you interject, it's very important that every shade of society, whether you in a leadership, whether you in an opposition party, whether you in a civil society, or whether you are a support to Sierra Leone, for understand say this data no dey help nobody. Right? If you feel say today it will be of value to you because you in an advantage position, no say it's about country first. Tomorrow this data will affect you because what we want for strive for do, we want for institutionalize political divide where this data they do. So before, if political divide and ethnic politics and sharp divisions been then at the fringes, we just say discuss them. Now we want for formalize them. Introducing this data would formalize that divide. And it's a big risk where any country for run. We not for allow then structural problems there so for enter the system. You not go bring data come when not reflective of the society. For example, when you look at Western urban, everybody knows say the Western urban on a daily basis in population they grow. There is no way, and you know it's very illogical for let you say the data for the voter registration, for which a lot of us where, for example, the work na election, we put the integrity of the voter register last time to test. So we can say that data there for the voter registration is a data that we can rely on. The data for the voter registration in for the 2018 elections, where the voter registration happened in 2017, it was 606,939. But when we come to the provisional result of the midterm population and housing census, the number of citizens in Freetown, Western Urban, na 606,701. The voter population, I passed the total number of population, meaning all them one they will not fall within the voting bracket where they 18 and below. They're not even accounted for. And we they talk about say because the justification which I would give, the justification for the midterm census.
You can explain the justification later, Madam Samba Sesay. We will come back to you. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. Today we look at new them position on the provisional census results where statistics salon just pull nado as new na one body where beget different issues and from all this old process start. And as a result, don't come out officially, they also make them position out where today now in what they look at inside the program.
The program Good Morning Salon still continue. Still inside the program, we get the chairperson for new Marcella Samba Sesay as they talk on the position with them pull concerning the census results where statistics just pull nado display in time. And according to statistics during the time when they pull the results, they say plenty people been left Freetown for go upline for make the go count them. As new, I don't think say these are some of the reasons we make maybe the eastern region more populated than the western area.
You see, certain analysis then they were really worrying, and one of the reasons we make for most countries best practice now for conduct census every 10 years now because during that point there some amount of shifts can happen at the population, but that justification for that massive shift they were happening, the gravity of the shift you had to understand, and we not even want to go to the analysis. So in actual fact, one of the things that what we say now some kind data then they what we see now make we say the census no really reflect within. And if you look at all the data that we even statistics Sierra Leone don't conduct recently, you they find out say they in line with the data we come out so now the midterm population and housing census. In fact, now the reason that make us say what we see as justification when them put forward for the midterm census, the current results no midterm. The Kenema figures now one, The western area figures na one, the figures in the south and east we go up, it's another, and you find out say it promotes a sharp ethno-regional divide, and we not forsake for institute that kind of culture in a salon. So the census now meets the national development agenda. We say the census now for inform the implementation of the medium-term national development plan and sustainable development goals. If the aim of the census as put forward by the proclamation now for make development initiative come for Sierra Leone, that census meet am because the census not reflective of the population of Salon.
All right, and during the term we statistics alone announced say that they conduct the census, you get people back way, they say count me, not count me. These are some of the issues them where statistic salon raise. Say mostly then workman they go na some community, then people not they allow for consent. Things say this back now some of the reasons them we make, the electricity we get some of them can figure there.
One of the many reasons will make we get some of them kind of figure here. One, the country not being ready for a national process. The level, I tell you, the 4 issues they will put forward. We tell them say there is a crisis of watch be invited to a meeting, a bank complex where the statistics Sierra Leone go present data and then show we the 2015 census, then present the map, and in that map they will then present, then pin the area, then say type 3 localities they don't get data for them, and then pin the various area, then say this kind gap is scattered across the countries. And then we interject as National Election Watch immediately and say this is not the communication out in the public. Una na supposed to be a trusted institution. Una not a part of the partisan politics in this country. Una na independent institution. The type of communication where they out in the public, where they cause tension now, and it cause gross political divide. Then say in 2015, certain side and they, especially for political reasons, they not count them, and other side they inflated. I say, but the data we una they show we now, it's totally different. Una say na type 3 locality, now una no get data for, and una say this kind thing happened in 2015, not to one side but across the country. So the kind communication around the census be negative, it means skewed, certain, including civil society, people them run with a negative perception will make even for gender cohesion around the census being difficult.
You talk about civil society, who than the civil society?
Another fear that we been get say if that negative for this country.
So looking at statistics alone, it's their mandate from the one for, give out the country housing population results, and they get to expert and technicality for do that. On our own points as new, we una don't dey so. Now based on us evidence, is it that based on just the view of people, or una get things on go point out where una go say this is a reality?
In fact, we not train observer group. Not to any kind of person them in a National Election Watch, because probably that's an age-old idea where people can think say na civil society they don't understand, they don't know. Not to any kind of people they that's our first part. And technical advice also they in sync with what the World Bank say, right? All what you don't say World Bank say them, and all what you don't say equally so other players themselves don't see them. So what we they talk, we not just come out of the blues. Any governance process gets 4 basic criteria. It gets the criteria of inclusivity. And it's not to miss you. In fact, make a quote the medium-term national development plan when the government of Sierra Leone put forward. This current government will come into office in 2018. Now then self talk am. They say the country continues to be engulfed. Page 115. It said the country continues to be engulfed in a vicious cycle of divisiveness, exclusion, and the weakening and subversion of state governing institutions. In order to depart from this old method, now then say,
okay,
in order to depart from this old method of addressing persistent challenges facing good governance and accountability, the government will ensure that every citizen feels they are an integral part of an inseparable and indivisible society. Now, government say
Okay.
right. So every critical process when a benchmark for good governance, it gets the quality of inclusivity. If you see political parties and they progress and protest, they are part of society. If you see enumerators say they're not trained, we fine. If you see civil society, they call una say una clear this thing properly, let me understand. It means a shades of society there, one are not able to collect them voices.
Okay.
Any government for take responsibility, gets the courage and the democratic orientation for organized society, for let it able for mobilize the entire social fabric around an issue such as a national census where them fail for.
Continue for the week we Marcella Samba Sesay in the chairperson for new. It therefore talk about the position on the just concluded result with statistics salon just give where they talk about the country in all population.
Still inside the studios, we get the chairperson for new, Marcella Samba Sesay, where they talk on the position concerning the midterm census results with statistics salon just police BNT. Now, chairperson, you don't highlight a lot of issues them we wanna get concerning the results. So basically, presently, we do not want as new.
So we actually don't call on the government and all partners that we involved, including civil society, media, say we ready for discuss this. In experts them in this area, we ready for discuss this for find the way forward. Because currently we are stuck. We are stuck because, as I say, the communication they out in the public say the 2015 census get problem. Everybody believes they get problem, and it get problem because people then believe say statistics Sierra Leone, because now they conduct the census. This now I find very fascinating. Statistics Sierra Leone then conducted the census in 2015, and in fact within our meeting, when I tell the deputy director, I say this kind of communication we una dey give to this country, e no good. We as elites them and technical people now we for put hand under this country like enough for them. Una they can't say one thing here and then the public una very one and una conduct this census 2015. So if something goes wrong with this census in 2015, for which a midterm census say gaps then they won't predicate the midterm census on, now una we for all accountable. Because now una fail for meet the benchmarks for the 2015 census. Una can't to we and explain to we wetin happen when make una fail for meet them critical benchmarks today. But they not do am. They allow the public for run with a very negative perception when it hinge on frustration around the protest of the census. And so if 2022 a census data where provisional don't come out and it repeats the same mistake and even worse, we get for all statistics Sierra Leone accountable. They get for answer for this. In fact, let people understand say the money, whether na donor partner money, whether na government money, they are given for the people of Sierra Leone. It is for the welfare of citizens. So we get for make sure say when we dey talk say we put hand under them processes they are we come out fine, not for one particular government.
So
If this government come out in power today, other governments can tomorrow, succeeding governments can, let it build on waiting the first governments don't left. But we cannot be making the same mistake over and over again. So then they are tired for Canada studio for can't talk the same thing.
So in this whole process, Madam Samba, were you counted? Yeah. Yes.
Nothing. In fact, somebody they say, if
Nothing as in how?
say you not counted, what you go say? Me not count me.
Now you no agree or they no reach to you,
No,
right
no,
one.
no. You see, every person at a personal level, I am saying this because I am, apart from the fact that I'm chairperson of National Elections Watch, I am also a citizen of Sierra Leone. Everybody knows say, at a personal level, I am very critical of processes with the aim for let come out fine. But I have never undermined or absent myself from any governance process. If any process challenge, record they say we don't put hand under that them processes then they for make our fine. In as much as we had challenges, there was nowhere in National Elections Watch when we sabotage or call for say the person not participate. No, I was not counted. My household, we are not counted.
Okay.
And so if fine for there, every other person understands that when we are talking about this, we dey talk from a point of evidence.
So though so many issues be there in this whole process, lapses and everything, but people can always say, I mean, waiting government say people for do, we for try for also, I mean, display we right with responsibility for ensure say, if government say this are the interest of the public, we for comply and later complain. When I be the role of new, we'll be to see different stakeholders them from different political party and other organization, but they come out and incite certain people for say, una not allow the enumerators them now on a area or on a house, or if they come, una not agree let them count una.
So the role of National Elections Watch, I mean for call statistics there, you see, I want to follow on the stance when they talk about them processes they are so. If we begin blur the line between independent institution of the states and the government, we're mostly run by the executive, now they the problem can come out. Because some of them data are so government self get for user. And I really want to see a situation how government is able for use a data challenge of this nature with so challenge. So independent institution like statistics, for me, now they get the mandate, now they get the responsibility. And as so National Election Watch they come, it's the same thing, right? For example, just for example, I know this will not go quote me wrongly. Say Marcella say National Electoral Commission XY. For example, National Electoral Commission make mistake. We not go all government for that mistakenly. The Electoral Commission for Salona independent organization, institution. And when they make mistake, we for hold them accountable for that mistakenly. So not to government will be all accountable for statistics Sierra Leone mistake. This na Sierra Leoneans say we then give the mandate for do certain role. And now they don't make mistake 2015, now they don't make mistake back 2022, where data don't come out.
Okay.
So in reality, now make we gather, we go meet the institution we mandated by law, say now this responsibility they don't do now. For make this responsibility come on fine, una make sure say una include people then. Una make sure say una communicate fine. Una make sure say una prepare well so una no go run into the crisis of time. They know do.
Alright. Continue further with me inside the program. In the chairperson for new Marcella Samba Sesay.
Well, the program Good Morning Salon they continue and we come over to the chairperson and National Election Watch new where they talk on the position for sake of the midterm housing and population provisional census results where statistics are on Punlado. Madam Samba, the issue of so many lapses and error in these results now one will don't be topic of discussion among different people and other platform them. And according to you, so many lapses there. But one thing with statistics are make clear now that no census no day will they be 100% correct. Because however it be, must get challenges. You must get people away willingly on their own go agree say they don't want the part of the process. So in all of this, we are a reality according to statistics. Why you think say them for go back now the drawing board and do a redo of this or maybe do certain adjustments on this census result where they just pull now do?
This thing fall below
waiting
the pass mark, below the standard.
Waiting at your pass mark according
below
to your
the
observation.
Standard. You know, at the quotes exactly from because we statement where we additionally quote the eve of the counting, the census proper, where they're gonna feel waiting the World Bank say. It say evaluation of pilot census no happen. The retest no happen. It say the field operation plan for the enumeration and ensuring enumerators are adequately trained no happen.
Okay.
So this now we call them a governance critical benchmarks, preliminary, during and after. It means say we agree totally there is no perfect process because na more man they do. Even the machine the way they use for aid with technology they break down. We agree with all of that. But one thing we can promote, we say if you plan well, you'll be able for help for reduce the level of the hurdles then the way you go meet. But all them critical things are not meet. And as I did say earlier in the program, all their governance processes there, so then get certain international threshold where they for reach for let them say is standardized and for let we able work with the data or the process way na the outcome. But unfortunately, World Bank, for example, pull out on the eve. They say them basic thing are not there. And we see them during the census. The enumerators they not even understand. Then they run with tablets. If they get proper understanding, we don't want a society where citizens not patriotic enough, where they can do national processes, they begin on away with tablets. They begin to offend them. So you get for engender that trust there, let build that education there, and all of this they take time. It is not a rushed process.
So if finally the statistics not able to look into this number of results we then pull, what in you would do next?
So now I make what we done with statements, we appeal. We appeal to all the stakeholders then. You see, governance, they in the hands of government no more. It in the hands of critical interlocutors.
Okay.
It in the hands of every person we able for lay beer on the governance process.
Okay.
We say, let them look inside this thing for the way forward. Let we not continue for live with the mistakes there. So. And let we see how we all the help for let we not institutionalize this kind of practice. Let we not institutionalize ethno-political divide.
Okay.
Let we try as best as possible. We as National Election Watchdog agree say we dey cooperate for see how we go find a way forward in this situation.
Plenty thank you to you, Marcella Samba, Sesay, chairperson for New. Able to talk on the position on the just concluded census result with statistics alone.
Well, plenty thank you to all we comment on our Facebook page. But no member say you for join with tomorrow as we get the program inside Parliament from 11 to 12 and same way so Salon today on Sunday from 1 to 3. So till we meet another time, we'll bring this edition to you this Friday morning. My name is Usman Kamara.
And Alex Lawrence Koma, Michael Sambola, and then produce this edition of the program Good Morning Salon. DJ Cliff give technical support. Moses Kavua Mekona Siwi and get to live from our Facebook page. Mina Sapti Kalonde say happy weekend and bye bye.